Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Tech Team Toronto's channel, where we're going to talk about some technology stuff and learn something. Today, we're going to be discussing the iPhone versus Android, and this is kind of an opinion piece on how I use the phone and the reason why I choose one phone over the other. So stay tuned, and we'll get this party started. All right. So basically, today, once again, we're going to be discussing the iPhone versus Android. This is simply my opinion and what I need smartphone wise based upon what goes on in my life and that sort of. So it's a pretty good thing. Maybe it's a guideline that you could use to kind of help you evaluate which is best for you. And what we'll do is we'll go into a little bit of history. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the video with a friend or two, and like the video on your way in and out. Welcome to the Tech Tronics channel. Thank you for watching the video with us today. All right. So basically, what I'm saying is, I have these three phones. Two of them are Androids, and first is a Rebel 6 Pro, and you get that from like say T-Mobile. The other phone is a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, and I got that from another carrier. And I have the iPhone XS from another carrier. Now, to be fair, this is not the fairest of comparisons because this is my personal experience with these devices in which I own. This analysis is based upon how I use the smartphone in my life. And maybe it'll help you make a decision as to certain things, you know what I mean? And you'll see some things about these phones, which is interesting. Now, first, we'll start with about the phone. The T-Mobile Rebel 6 Pro is a budget-friendly 5G smartphone released on August 4th, 2022. It's featuring a 6.82-inch HD display with 50-megapixel quad camera system, a 5,000 milliamp battery with 15 watts fast charging. It includes 128 gigabytes of internal storage, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and supports wireless charging. It's available through T-Mobile and Metro. It runs on Android 12.13 with a MediaTek Dimensity 700 processor. And that's what you get in this package here. It's the budget phone. It's a low price deal, you know. And then the other phone in this discussion today is the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. And this S9 Plus came out in 2018. It features a 6.2-inch quad HD Super AMOLED Infinity display, Snapdragon 845 Exynos 9810 chipset with 6 gigabytes of RAM and a 3500 milliamp battery. It's an older phone than the Rebel 6 Pro, so that's why it has less of a battery, but it's not really a big deal. The battery at this point doesn't really last that long for me. But it includes a dual 12 megapixel real camera with variable aperture, and it has the IP68 water resistance rating, stereo speakers tuned by AKG, a headphone jack, and a rear mounted fingerprint iris scanner. I like that because it's convenient. When you hold it, it's like this. You hold it and you put your fingerprint and it unlocks the phone, as we can see there. The phone's unlocked. Real convenient. Um, and take the Rebel 6 Pro, they have this itty bitty button on the side, and you have to line your finger up like correctly. Otherwise, and you have to make sure that the sweat is not on your fingers too much and the sweat on the button, that type of thing. And it's a real pain in the neck the way they have it set up. So I'm not really happy with the finger scan in there. Now, on the next slide here, it's going to go into the iPhone that I have, the iPhone XS. The iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max are smartphones designed and developed and marketed by Apple. The iPhone X is an older flagship smartphone model known for its OLED display, dual camera system, and premium design. The sensors that it has is a Face ID. So I could use my face to unlock the phone, which is really convenient. I don't have to use my sweaty fingers or nothing like that. Um, Now, the one thing I don't like about this particular phone is like the camera, the video quality isn't as good as what I would get out of those two, the Samsung and the Rebel 6 Pro. However, there are some things that it does for me, and I actually today carry the iPhone and the Rebel 6 Pro around, so it's a two phone deal that I gotta carry around because um, so I had the iPhone 3GS when the smartphone became popular back in like say around 2010, 2011. Over the years, I had the iPhone 5, 6, and XS. I got the iPhone XS just a short time before the Galaxy S9 or sometimes around there. I was curious to see what Android had to offer, and I wanted to know about that environment and how it worked and everything. And it was a great experience all around. Just I love working with technology in general and working with different things. So I ordered the Samsung Galaxy S9 with a different carrier. Now the S9 Plus was a nice phone with great features. I dig it. I might even have to consider getting the newer Samsung model. Um, but the other thing is too, not all Android phones are created equal because there are different manufacturers involved with different cost structures and different things like that. But I used both the Apple and the Android for 7 years side by side, you know, and that what is the basis of my research I provide for today. Now, here are the things I like about the Android environment. I like the variety, functionality, and affordability of the apps at the Google Play Store. I mean, you could do a lot of things. The range of things that you could do with the apps, the Google Play Store is amazing. And you could do some of the things at the App Store on the iPhone, but it's just not the same. And the apps are more expensive over there, and I'll cover that later. It's good for doing business functions, and both phones have their good points for doing business. But I really like doing my business on the Android. That's the thing that really drives its advantage. Um, So, what I'm saying is the Google developers at Google Play Store appear to have more freedom with the programming, thus giving more variety for the apps at less of a cost. And it integrates well with the Google environment. Their external card storage, you could get on some of the phones, they have the external card storage for more space. So that's kind of the things I like about it. Um, so now the things that I don't like about the Android are simply this. Not all phones are created equal. For Rebel 6 Pro, I have limited call blocking features. The ads that you get from time to time are annoying. You're trying to run an app and you have to wait for the app to time out so you can click the X button. you know, and then you need another app just to play the music. When saving music on the Android, it never gets in the order that I want, even when sorting. And the sound quality that I get from the Android, it's a minor difference, but it doesn't seem as good and as warm as what I get on the iPhone. The notifications interfere with the music playback on the Rebel 6 Pro. It turns down the music for a second and hits a ding if you get like a YouTube notification or something like that. I'm sure there's a way I could probably like work on that setting, maybe turn it off. Or with the current thing that I do right now is put it on Do Not Disturb if I choose to listen to music there. Um, and usually when I'm listening to music there, it's on a platform like SoundCloud and such. Now the Rebel 6 Pro reboots and reboot loops randomly. I don't like that. I mean, it happened to me while I was at work, and I was like, this is not the time for that. You know what I mean? I don't have time for a phone that boots randomly and stuff like that having an issue. So, um, the other things I don't like about the Android situation is that an antivirus is a requirement for Android devices. Um, the Wi-Fi hotspot shuts down on the Rebel 6 Pro randomly you know, when using my computer in public. I have to connect the charging cable just to keep a solid connection when on the road. And then just for something as simple as Notepad, which comes, standard on the iPhone, I have to download a third-party app on my Rebel 6 Pro just to get a Notepad. And then that third party app deletes my notes randomly. I was at the shopping market doing some shopping. It deleted the notes that I was using to do my shopping at the end of the shopping. And I was not happy about that. And the Rebel 6 Pro call log does not keep call records that far back. I was looking for somebody's number from way back when, and it only went back so far. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe I have to look into that. Now, here are the things I like about the iPhone. The iOS operating system seems to be a more solid, high quality operating system with less moving parts. It's kind of, you know, dummy proof in a way, and they update it frequently. And the other thing I like about it, the phones are in general reliable. No boot loops and random reboots. I never had that issue. Although I had when the iPhone gets old, it just stops working right. I had to put my phone in the freezer at one point just to get it to start back up again. And I shortly got the iPhone 5 after having to deal with that issue with the 3GS. But the iPhone 3GS was kind of long in the tooth by that time that happened. The other issue I had was like, and it's anything could happen with any of these phones. The Wi-Fi chip went out or something like that, or it was a situation where I couldn't get internet, and I think it was either the Wi-Fi chip or the the carrier chip that went out, something along those lines, and I had to get a new phone. Um, the antivirus on the iPhone is not a requirement, and where I put the music on the iPhone, I know where to locate the music I store on the iPhone by the way I tag the files. That's what that's about there. Um, and also, um, it's predictable. You know what I mean? And the music is a big part of what I do, and I need to know where it is when I put it on my device. Now, furthermore, the Apple Music sound quality is warm, smooth, and comfortable to my eardrums. And then also on the phone side of things, I could block phone numbers with the interface without having to download a third party app for that function. I could do it on the Samsung 9 Plus, S9 Plus, but not on the Rebel 6 Pro, and it may be a carrier setup or restriction. Also, on the notes, which I live on the notepad to a certain degree, the notes are accessible for years from the iCloud and in between device upgrades. So that's great. I mean, I'm glad to have that feature. So, those are generally the things I like about the iPhone environment. Um, Now, here, to be fair, are the things that I really probably, you know, um, that I wouldn't like about the iPhone, and that slide is coming up next. Okay. Now, the things that I like, oh, yes, I want to mention that the facial recognition technology is great because on the iPhone, I could use my face to unlock it. Now, here are the things I don't like. Um, Good quality apps are a bit more expensive at the Apple App Store. The capabilities and functionalities allowed by Apple Store developers seem limited compared to Google Play Store developers. iPhones tend to cost more than Androids in general. And on that, I'll show you what I'm saying. Let me see here. So basically, um, on the iPhone side of things, you know what I mean? Like at my carrier, T-Mobile, right now, to get an iPhone 17 Pro, I would have to put at this time $349.99 down plus tax for the full price of $1,099.99. I want the Pro Max, that's an extra $100. You know what I mean? Now with the Motorola Moto G 2026, that might be a nice phone right there. I don't know because I never owned one, but I think it's a nice phone for a cheaper price. But the thing is, even still, like they even have my Rebel 8, the upgrade to the Rebel 6, um, by T-Mobile, and it's starting at a slow price for 24 months with zero down and plus tax due today. So I just played the tax on that 249 and I got it. And that's good. But the only thing is, if I go with like that style of phone, I'm gonna be stuck in the issues that I have with the music, and that's what I don't want. So, um, so the cost is more than Androids in general. So the iPhone X takes lower quality pictures than S9 Plus and the Rebel 6 Pro. However, and I'm sure as the later model iPhones have improved the picture quality. So that's the things I don't like, and also I don't have They don't have on the iPhone a card or slot for external card storage. Now let's take a look at this, right? Um, Let me go back here, back to the presentation. All right, all right. So the things I like, some of the other things I like is that there's storage and accessibility. I can put a video on my Android and I know where to find it because I might have to use a third party app or something like that to get to it. I could get around. I could look at the main storage, and this is what I'm talking about on the left hand side of the screen. I could get around the SD card. I could look at my downloads, images, audio, video, documents, apps, and everything else. You know what I mean? It's easier to get around in that aspect. It's the behind the scenes. The thing I like about that Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus is it has a great interface. It has a little gesture that you do, and this little side menu pops up, and I can access things there. And then the app selection to Google Play Store is pretty good. My favorite apps that I have to the right side of the screen are like the call box, Wi-Fi analyzer app, and Fing, which is a network security analysis tool. You know, if I'm home on my Wi-Fi, I can see all the connected devices, and I can do different things and that sort of thing. So it's really good. Um, so that's some of the things I like about the Android right there. Um, Now, the music handling characteristics is a big one here. To the left hand side of the screen, I could tell you this. For this playlist of mine, Ace of Base was done after All for Electro and All for Electro Volume 2. And then the one below it near my head is really old and should be at kind of at the top of the list. You know what I mean? And that's the gripe that I have with the playlist. It's not in order, and I load it on the phone in chronological order, and it doesn't. I can sort it, but it doesn't sort the way I want to, and that's way too time consuming. Now, if you go on the right hand side of the screen, this is my playlist, and everything's sorted in the order that I want it to. When I put the music on the phone, it goes where I want it to, and I have no problems there. And that's the great thing about it. You know what I mean? Everything's in chronological order, just like I want it. So the playlist is in order, and that's the characteristics. Now, the other feature now is important to have is the block button. And I didn't realize this till later. I never had to really block anybody, but then I had an issue where hundreds of people were calling me because I was looking for something online, you know, and they think that calling you 100 people 100 times in a day is a good thing, and I don't think it is. So the problem I have here is that the call interface on the Rebel 6 Pro has no block button. I could add them as a contact. I could call them. I could copy the number and paste it on a separate block list on a back screen, which is really inconvenient. Or I could download an app that kind of helps to do that. And it's a shame that I have to download an app just to do that feature. Or I can video call, text. Now on the S9 Plus in the middle, it has the block button, which is circled at the lower right hand uh, corner. So I have all the different functions, and I could basically block them right there. And then on the iPhone, which is all the way to the right here, it has that block caller feature built right into the system, which is great, and that works for me. And I don't have to download a separate app to do that, and that's the important thing. So now at the end of the day, here is what I have to say about the score. I took the likes and everything, and I gave the Android a like value of 5 points. The 5 points references the 5 items that I presented in that slide about what I like about the Android system. And the iPhone, the value that I gave it was 8 points. There's 8 things that I liked about it there. The dislike value for the Android for me, and this is from me in my personal life or me in my life in general, the dislike value ended up being 12 points, and the dislike value for the iPhone ended up being 5 points. So if I do the math, I mean, the writing's on the wall. I'm gonna have to go with an iPhone. Otherwise, it's either that or carry two phones around, which is cool and all, but not I'm not really trying to do that. Um, so basically, what I'm saying is, based on the score and how the smartphones are used in my life, I would give Apple the win. They designed a great device. The things I like about Apple product outweigh the things I like about the Android product. Likewise, the things I dislike about the Android product outweigh what I dislike about the Apple product. I would attribute this mostly to how the iPhone handles music and the robustness of its operating system with less moving parts. In general, I feel that Android has too many moving parts and makes the smartphone a more complicated proposition. And with that, before we get out of here, I would like for you to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to some of my sister channels, and I'll show you those right now. All right. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. We're going to be, I know it's been a while, but I'll be putting out more videos now that I fill up to it. Also, subscribe to my sister channel. This is where I do, you know, electro breaks, house, tech house, future house, bass house, soulful house, new disco house mix. I have a little setup that I DJ on, and I'm going to try to get some videos up there, that sort of thing. Um, and also, too, I have a music channel where I do original music. I create my own tunes. I play like a little bit of rock music and experimental music and that sort of thing. And I play guitar, I play bass, I play drums, I do drum machine, I do sampling and different things like that. And that's what I do. So check out these channels at your leisure, and then that's what we do. So with that, be sure to subscribe, share the video with a friend, like the video, help the algorithm, and visit techtintronics.net. And that's all I got to say. And with that, I would say um, thank you all for watching and being with us today, and have a great day.